Hello guys, welcome back to yet another video. Now today we are discussing the Tournament of Power Arena with MJ from Geekless TV. Please say hello.
Hello, MJ.
As I said before, we are discussing the Tournament of Power stage within Dragon Ball Super Universe Survival Arc. Now, MJ, first of all, what are your thoughts on it? Do you like the design of the stage? What do you think about it in comparison to the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 Tenkaichi Budokai type stage? What do you think about it? What are your general thoughts?
I do indeed. I don't want to say I like it. I do want to say though that I do appreciate them going out of the way to do something a bit different, because like you just mentioned, the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament, or the Champa arc, I guess, it was, it did take inspiration from the original Tenkaichi Budokai, so them doing it like that, playing it easy, like even Baba's tournament, or even like the Other Worlds tournament, you know what I mean? Like Baba's tournament, it changed locations, but the first part of the arena, like where Yamcha took on Vampire Man, if whatever his name is, I always forget his name, but you get my point. They took inspiration from the original Budokais, And then you look at, of course, like the Otherworld tournament, again, that took inspiration. And then you look at the Universe 6 for the Universe 7 tournament, again, that took inspiration. So I am kind of happy that they went out of the way to kind of change the design a bit. Do I like the design? Nah, not really, but I do appreciate them doing it. Yeah, I appreciate the effort that they went out of the way to make it different. You know what I mean? That Toriyama them sat down and they came up with a design that was different,
Yeah, it looks like Kami's Lookout, but it looks different from a Tenkaichi Budokai stage. I see what you point. No, I see what you mean. Yeah,
they combined their top with the Heavenly Roll, bro.
Pretty much. And also like the thing that I really want to cover is the railing above the Tournament of Power stage. You see how it has sort of the surface, and then it has that giant pole. I presume that's where it's like the Grand Priest is going to sit with the two other Zenos and sort of oversee the match from above. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do agree with you. I do feel like that's an interesting spot to put them, and I think it does make sense just due to the fact that Zeno does, or I guess Zenos, both the Zenos do like the excitement and entertainment they get from watching a fight. So having them that close to the tournament stage, to the top, I think it would make sense for them to oversee and, look at the battles going on below them.
Yeah, I agree. I think like it's kind of realistic in a way, like you want to get as close to the match as possible. So now he's literally looking down at them fighting. And also the Tournament of Power stage, at least the screenshots that we've been given so far, it looks quite small to be holding 80 fighters, which could lead into a joke where it's like 80 or so fighters, but yeah, it could lead into a joke where like everyone's squished together or something like that. And then everyone easily falls off, so then there's about maybe 30 fighters, which could save on pacing time because you don't want to make this arc too long. And yeah, so I think the God of Destruction and the Angels and the Kaioshin, they're going to not be necessarily on the tournament, because you see the railing on the Tournament of Power stage. I think that's just going to be where the failed contestants are going to be, while the Kaioshin, the Angels, and the God of Destruction are just going to have another platform similar to what we saw in the Zen Expedition match.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like the Gods of Destruction may be not only the Zen Exhibition match, but also the Champa arc, where you had the families and friends, how they were on those floating surfaces. The same with the Gods of Destruction. So I kind of feel like they'll be on something like that, kind of away from the tournament. You know what I mean? Not necessarily too far away, but you get my point. Though they're not going to be exactly right next to the stage. Now, as far as the railing goes, we talked about it off air. That does seem to make sense. The only problem with that is how do the contestants actually get up there? Because if flying is, not allowed in the void, and if they fall off the stage and they fall down into the deep darkness of the void, what happens to them? How are they gonna fly back up? Maybe the Grand Priest is just gonna just grab a couple at each moment and then put them on the railing, and maybe lift them up or something. It just seems weird, because that's the whole point, right? Once you fall out, you won't be able to fly up, right? That's why flying is not allowed in the void. So
maybe, yeah.
So I just, who knows, maybe it'll be like a gag, you know, once like, oh, maybe this will be the gag right here. So when they fall off the void, they're gonna keep falling, and then they're gonna land on that railing.
Yeah, maybe. Like it just teleports them, just like...
But to them, it's like they just keep falling and falling for like some amount of time, and then finally they just land like on the rail.
Maybe, yeah, like that would be kind of interesting, like that would like actually have stakes because, you know, who wants to wait? So, you know, just more incentive, I guess. And that's classic Toriyama, just goofy, wacky humor, like they don't want to wait to be like to be teleported over, so they just like want to stay in the battle. And plus, obviously, you know, the universe will be destroyed if they don't, so, you know, there's layers to that. And also the aesthetic of the Tournament of Power, it reminds me of the God of Destruction sort of clothing, as it's pretty Egyptian looking. It looks pretty ancient and all of that stuff. It looks cool. But yeah, the proportions of it so far doesn't look like it can hold for 80 fighters. And also, what clued me in to Goku and Jiren going to be the final contestants, it's pretty obvious, but in the Dragon Ball Super opening, the classic, you know, Limit Break X Survivor, it's a great song, and it's a great opening, but within that opening, the beginning shots include Goku and Jiren firing off the Kamehameha and Jiren's attack, and nobody else is on that stage apart from them, so I think it's pretty clear at this point that they will be the final contestants, and everyone would just be on that railing just looking in anticipation.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. When you were going through the screenshots, I guess, of the stage, you mentioned that to me, that when you were trying to find, I guess, good shots of the Tournament of Power stage, one of the shots did include Goku and Jiren fighting, and in a faraway, I guess, zoomed out shot, there was no one else on that stage except for those two.
Yeah.
So I guess it just made, plus I think everyone kind of already assumed that Goku and Jiren would probably be the last two, you know what I mean, after like a long fought battle. I mean, I don't know how long it could be, because, you know, 48 minutes, but then again, these guys move freaking fast, so 48 minutes to them is a freaking eternity, so there you go.
Yeah, exactly, like the 48 minutes thing is pretty much like the new Frieza final, like 5 minutes, you know? It's very similar, and yeah, it's gonna be really interesting on like how things will pan out. I believe like when they just hit the void, they'll fall and then they'll just like teleport, or like the Grand Priest will sort of like use his powers to just lift him up the air. Or maybe the Grand Priest would just change his mind because like so many people are falling at once, so he's like, okay, fine, flying's allowed, get back up and sit on the railing. Who really knows? It's going to be very fun to see the Tournament of Power. I think it's going to be a perfect mix of comedy and action, so yeah. What do you guys think about the Tournament of Power arena? Do you like it in comparison to the Tenkaichi Budokai stage? I think it's certainly more interesting and aesthetically presentable, but I kind of miss the audience a bit, and I don't think that any other audience besides Zeno, the Kaioshin, the God of Destruction, the Angels, and, you know, etc, etc, and the failed contestants are going to actually watch the Tournament of Power, so that's kind of a bummer. But yeah, what do you guys think in the comment section down below? I really want to hear what you guys have to say. Also, check out MJ in the description down below. He makes awesome Dragon Ball videos, awesome power scaling videos, you know, and whatnot, you know. He makes great content. Go check him out. So yeah, see you later.